Okay.
Oh, got to try again. I'm stuck at 2.
Stuck
I'm going to. I'll be back in a minute, Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Or I might. Oh no, refresh. It's not letting me refresh.
Just have to start again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We are
live. That was strange. Morning, Peter.
Good morning.
Good morning. This is Blabbing for Britain, episode 214, and we are live from the UK, broadcasting to the world. To everybody who's joined us, say good morning. Say good morning to Tish.
Morning, Tish.
Hello, Tish. We had a few technical difficulties, but now we've got even more now. Peter's left. So you have got me, and I'm going to stay here until Peter gets back. I'm trying to get the camera sorted out. It appears to have moved, or something has moved. And I'm getting there. That's better. And we welcome back Peter. 3, 2, 1. Right. Okay. We're back. We're back. And Tish says, hi, Peter.
Hello.
And Stephen. How? That takes me back a bit.
How?
All right. Now, I've only just got here myself, so I have no idea what's going on. But I think we do have an agenda. And so welcome to Blabbing for Britain and episode 214. Okay. Right. Okay. How are things in Aberdeen, Peter? I noticed you went on the bus the other day.
Well, I'm actually quite refreshed for my epic journey yesterday. Well, so I was up at 4 in the morning yesterday. I was up at 3 actually, and I lay in my bed. I don't know, the night before I'm going somewhere, I can never sleep. I'm scared of sleeping and things.
Yeah.
So anyway, I got up, got ready. Now, I didn't have to catch the bus until 9:15 in the morning.
Okay.
But I used everything on an app. So my bus fare was booked by the app.
Yeah.
My parking for the next door to the bus station was booked by an app. And it was from 7. So I was actually down at 7.
Okay.
And sitting, had a coffee and everything, and read a paper. And most people didn't turn up until about 9 o'clock for their 9. But me being me, I've got to know I'm there.
You're there, yeah.
And I sat there, and then I went on a thing called the Gold Bus, which was straight from Aberdeen, right down to Glasgow. No stopping.
Wow.
It's like airline seats, and very comfortable. I had my Wi-Fi. Well, I had my phone plugged in, and my coffees if I needed them. Says, how many yellows? As much as you want. I says, I'll give you a shout shortly. And you got a hostess and all the way down, and it was a pleasant journey. Now, I don't like buses because I was a bus driver. So I went all the way down, and I got into Glasgow, and it was a horrible day, but I had a walk around, and then I went in. Now, here's the thing, I don't know what you think, but a lot of Chinese at the moment are getting victimised, even in Britain. When you're aware of that.
Yeah, truly, yeah.
Now, usually the first thing I do there is I go to a place called the Savoy Centre. Not the most luxurious of places. I usually go and have breakfast, and then go and get a massage at this guy, a Chinese man, and then I have a Turkish shave.
Right.
So I turned up and I went in, and I'm thinking, should I go to this Chinese guy today? I bought myself gel, and I bought myself things, and I actually seen a Chinese woman in the city with a mask on.
Right.
So I went in. Says, oh, you're back. I says, yeah. I says, funny enough, it's about my back I'm back about. And so my shoulder, he says, you need acupuncture. And I went, no, not what. So, and I says, no, before we start, I says, have you met any? What's happening? I says, you've no relatives come in a joking sort of manner. Because he says, I've actually turned them away.
Right.
The Chinese man, they come in with masks and that, and he says, not dealing with you just now. Right. So I said, okay. And if they're locals, I know, but if they're kind of, he says, if you've been to China lately, he does ask them. So I says, right, I'm going to give this man some money. So I got my massage and he kept saying acupuncture. I said, So I'd done it because I had a frozen shoulder. Look, notice I had a frozen shoulder.
You had a frozen shoulder.
And I got these things put into my legs and I didn't like it. And I went, what happens if I drink water? Well, I'll be spouting out everywhere, you know? And so I went on a bit of late. It's my back. He says, yeah, but we put them in your legs. So I'm lying there on my back and he's putting it, and he says, relax. But you know something, I felt the back of my leg building up and I'm going, no, I don't like this. I didn't like it. I said, no. He says, relax. And I got a scare. I was scared. I says, no, I'm not going through with this. But eventually he says, relax. He says, you're tense. And eventually I'd done it. And he says, I'll push you and I'll lift up. And you know something, look at my arm now.
Yeah, it's total movement, yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So, and that was, and then I went to my business, I went to my speaking club there, a member of the PSA, which I'm really glad I went. Right. It was worth the £1 that I paid on the bus to go down. And I got the last bus at 10:30 for Aberdeen. Well, it's not the last one. And I got in the house at 2:30 in the morning.
Ah, right. Okay. Yes. So that's the grand day out.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long does it take to get from Aberdeen to?
Well, in the first bus was Aberdeen about 2.5 hours. The other bus is about 3 hours because it goes into all the different stations, totally different, an older bus. If possible, I will only go on the gold bus to Glasgow in future because it's no stopping all the way down, much more comfortable. And it's the first time I used it, and I like that. Not so good in the way back.
Okay, but 2:30. So that makes for a short night's sleep. Yes,
I got in at 2:30, and Sheila came in at 7 o'clock this morning and gave me a cup of tea. We're actually in separate bedrooms now.
Yeah.
Just until the puppy's reared a bit. Because it's slept all night now. So I got a cup of tea at 7. I really she should have left me, but I'm feeling fresh. Good. It was good. It was worth it. Do you know, you always say, why am I going here? Why am I going down to Glasgow? It's a long journey. And you know, we had a guy from Canada beamed in, and it just should know we have problems, right? But hotels should really get their act together and get points where they're not using Wi-Fi. They should, venues should have points everywhere so people can hardwire in their laptop. Because the inevitable happened, it kept breaking down from Glasgow to Canada.
Yeah.
But eventually got there, and it was really good about how to build a keynote talk. If you want to get more speaking gigs, you go on, you give people the pain, and that's a process to get come to your course, which was very helpful for me. That's a good introduction this morning, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. So that's the PSA.
Yeah, the Professional Speaking Association.
Yeah, that was started by Ricky Rundell, was it not?
I do believe that was one of them.
Yeah.
And Nigel Risner.
Yeah. Ricky founded it, and she's amazingly, and she narrated a book recently.
All right.
Okay, and she said, "Would you like a copy on Audible?"
Right.
So she sent me a copy, and I've got it on Amazon Alexa at the moment, and I'm listening to it.
All right. I find it hard listening to stories. But so if you name names, there's Nigel Risner,
Yeah.
What other names do you know that's in it, isn't it?
Lottie Hearn.
Yeah, Lottie, I've met her. I won her book.
All right, okay. Yeah, I've got her book too. Yeah.
Yeah, I went up on the stage and at a big meeting, and she says, who's never been here before? And I put my hand on. I says to the guy, could you put your hand down? I says, because I'm wanting to go up here. I've travelled a long way. And I got up, and they said, so I was quite confident actually, and they were quite surprised. A lot of people up and they said, so who's your hero? I says, I can tell you exactly who my hero is. Okay. And I was looking at the camera and I said, my hero is Victor Kayam. Do you remember him?
I do. Yeah. Yeah.
He liked the company so much that he bought it.
Indeed. Yeah. Yeah. All the TV adverts over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was because of him, he said, if you can guarantee anything, guarantee it.
Right.
And that's been good for me because I from a wasp season, wasp elimination, guaranteed. Stipulations with it. And then all the pest controllers up here followed me the following year with a guarantee.
It's good. Yeah, so the PSA. Very good. Yeah.
I'm the most northerly member. I actually got 19 people together up here for them.
Okay.
But unfortunately, nobody followed up to book them up. But I'm in the mood to get involved again. You can, when it says Professional Speaking Association, most of the people in Scotland are trainers. They're trained in some way. They don't actually do. There's no real motivational speakers or anything like that.
Right.
But I'm looking to do something that'll do a keynote speech in some way to small businesses in order to get them on my course on the back of it.
Yeah.
Solve the problem. So what have you got on your agenda today? I'm sorry.
I'm just having this thought. If we could get Lottie and Ricky together, and you could have a 3-way chat live on air. How's that?
Yeah, do you know there's people like Nigel Risner? He goes all over the world, and you know I should know although and Alan Stevens. Do you know him?
Yeah. We know Alan for the last 15 years, yeah.
Well, he's a liberal as well, by the way. I've seen him. How's John? And good morning. So there's lots of names, and there's David Heiner in your area. Do you know him, John?
Known David Heiner for probably about 20 years.
There you go. So we're just talking about
when I first met David Heiner, he did catering.
That's right. He had a burger van, didn't he?
Well, I don't know about the burger van. When I met him, he was doing like silver service for companies, you know, sandwiches, etc. for meetings.
Yes, I have. It's called the Rhino.
Yeah, well, there's about 5 people who call themselves the Rhino.
So we're just going over names that are members of the PSA, the Professional Speaking Association. And yeah. Now, John, I don't know if you see these things I've got in my ear.
Yeah.
They're bone conductors, go in front of the ear, and they're only 19 quid, and they're hardwired.
All right. I'm afraid if you can't tell, I don't feel great this morning.
Do you not?
No.
What's
I've
up,
got
mate?
runny eyes, runny nose, headache, bad back, and my arthritic knees are absolutely killing me. But I'm still here.
Oh, very good. Do you know what you should do? Go and get a short haircut and a trim, shave your beard off, and you'll be a new man. When you come to Aberdeen,
do you know, I have twice now been to the hairdressers. Yeah, I went last week and I went yesterday. And on both occasions, the lady I've been going to see for the last, I don't know how many years, was closed.
All right, okay. That's a shame. I was going to say, because if you did get your hair cut, I would want your money back.
Listen, It's like this, Peter. While I've still got it, I will flaunt it.
Yeah, quite right. I won't show you the back of my head because I look like a monk. Hate it. If there was a special spray for back of heads, I would use it. I hate back shots. When I was on a speaking course and they says, get some pictures with you behind you looking at the crowd. And I seen mine, I says, there's no way I'm using that with that bald patch. I look like Friar Tuck. Right, what was on your agenda today?
We haven't got there yet. What's on the agenda today? Okay. I don't know. What can we have?
Right.
Okay. The fear you were talking a moment ago about the person in Glasgow, Peter, the Chinese person.
Yeah.
And there is now a global fear of the virus spreading, and MWC 2020 is an annual show. It takes place in Barcelona. 100,000 people go there, and yesterday they cancelled it due to take place in the month.
Yeah. Well, they have to. I think that F1's been cancelled as well.
F1's cancelled. Yeah, they're hoping to rerun it later in the year, but for the moment, it's totally cancelled in April. Will
they have insurance for that?
I would hope so. I'd hope they're savvy enough to have done that. I mean, we currently got 9 cases in the UK.
I'll have to get it done.
Right, 9 cases of norovirus. I think it's similar in Canada as well. The current situation is.
Sorry.
Right, they are projecting that in China it will reach its peak in March and be behind us by April. Let's hope that is so.
It's amazing how, I mean, I actually joined. Go away. I actually yesterday went in and got gel and hand, and you know what I noticed? Every place I went, I touched that. Shows a lot of other people.
Mm-hmm.
No, even going into a door into the restaurant. Anything I touched, I went, people have touched that. I'm becoming obsessive. And I went, I'll put on a bit of gel now. And really, I did think like that. You look at people that are using touch screens in a railway station and things like that to collect tickets. Yep. And no, they've done a test one day, and you'd be surprised how many fecal parts matters was on it. Not a nice thing, but this is what the pitch. So I'm becoming like Howard Hughes. Don't have his money, but I'm going to have his habits.
Some of them, Peter. Some of them.
Yeah. But no, it's made me very much aware of it.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay.
That's it. It has raised awareness of health matters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you brew coffee?
Do I brew it?
Mm.
Not as such. No, I use capsules.
So do I. Well, no. Yes. And no.
Okay, you're taking it too personal. Do you brew coffee? I.e., is the word brew relevant to coffee?
It's a tea word.
No. Brew tea. In the army, we used to say, make a brew.
This is a question because Tish posted a joke yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And people said you don't brew coffee, but according to Wikipedia, you do. If you make an ordinary everyday coffee, then you brew it.
Yeah.
You mean instant coffee?
Yeah. Or, coffee made at home, but not with capsules.
Right.
Well, I just have never drunk coffee, so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, we started the day with a pot of coffee. Which is two cups each. Yeah, okay. 2 cups each, and then later in the day is an espresso, which is the pod, of course. Yeah.
Did you notice my picture on Facebook yesterday with my Berliner sausage?
Did I not put a comment about on it?
Yeah, no, Stephen, did you see it?
I may have missed it, Peter.
So I went walking down the street and I seen German Berlin, about 10, and it was actually Turkish Berliners. So I had a bratwurst. With,
it was to compliment his pensioners' £1.50p each way ticket to Edinburgh. It was a pensioners' special lunch.
Yes. Right. It was good. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it because I don't. Do you know how hard it is to, when you're walking about a city, how to get food that doesn't have carbs in it? Very difficult. Yeah. So that was my trip. It was epic.
Okay, let's go across the water to Northern Ireland and Sinn Féin's victory. What does it mean? I mean, for 90 years, the Protestant parties have ruled Northern Ireland without fear of anything happening. But in the election, which results were announced this week, Sinn Féin have doubled their vote and now have more of the popular vote than the other two parties. And they're trying.
But it wasn't for a United Ireland they won for. It was getting on with what they should be doing. Apart from
I mean, there was a protest vote, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's woken up the Irish, but it was a mistake that Nicola Sturgeon made. She will probably lose next time because all she thinks about running Scotland is to get independence.
Mm-hmm.
Get independence, not the housing, not the national health, not that, and that's backfiring on her. Because people are saying, instead of trying to get independence, what about running the country as it is? And things like that are starting to backfire on her, I can assure you. Yeah. But I don't think it'll be our time, but I think there probably will be a United Ireland one time because a Catholic friend of mine from Belfast, a cyclist, is telling me that the Catholics are outbreeding the Protestant.
Yeah. That's, at some point, the Catholic population will exceed the Protestant population, and it's going to happen. It's a fact.
Yeah.
But to actually have Sinn Féin in government means, as you said, Peter, that the prospect of a united Ireland is closer. Yeah,
I can see it, and I don't know if that's going to cause any problems for them. Certainly, the Protestants won't be happy with it. But what are they going to do? That's the problem, because they're going to be in the minority.
Well, it's a bloodless victory, isn't it? After the Troubles ended,
and it's going to be quite interesting. I just hope the Troubles don't start again. But I would think in the future it might get to the stage that the Protestants will leave Ireland. They may become. You never know. They may become. I'm not saying it will, but they could feel victimised. Yeah.
Indeed, that's possible. But things are changing. Even in Southern Ireland, the main parties have lost out, haven't they?
Yeah.
In their elections.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Let's get to British politics.
Okay.
Right. Now, this brought up the fact I wasn't aware of this, and I plead my ignorance totally.
Okay. Boris
Johnson is American.
Yes, he was born in America, but his father was working there, so which makes him he's got dual nationality.
Yeah, it's both passports, doesn't he?
So he's got a British passport.
UK leader.
Now, these people that have been put out of the country, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's focusing on Jamaicans this time, right?
Yeah.
Probably most black, but you get white Jamaicans. They've all committed serious offences, and they've never made the effort to become British. They don't have UK passports, even those that come here as a kid. And if they want to be British, they've got to pay for it to be British. And they're saying, and I'll tell you what, I was listening to Priti Patel coming up in the bus last night, and there's no messing with this woman. You committed a rape, you're out of this country. You're not British, you're out of this country. And she's putting people out of the country. There's been no messing about with her, I can tell you. Because somebody was arguing on the radio this morning. They're saying, yeah, you're going on about because they're Jamaican. She says, do you say that because there's Romanians, there's Lithuanians, there's Polish getting deported all the time for the same thing? And they're trying to say it's because they're black. And she says, you're not saying anything about the white people that are getting deported to the countries. And that's the problem. They think it's just a black issue. It's just that you're not getting to hear about the other ones happening.
The main differential, though, is that most Polish come here as mature people, shall we say?
Yes.
Yes. And a lot of these people who have been deported have no memory of Jamaica because they came so young.
Yeah, but they were meant to register for a UK passport. And they thought, nah, I'm not doing that. Well, guess what? You're on the plane. I'm leaving on a jet plane.
Yeah, well,
I don't think I'll be back again.
They only got, was it 15 of them actually went in the end?
Out of how many?
Yeah, half of them taken off the flight.
Yeah, to try and fight their case. But I'll tell you, you watch Priti Patel, they were lined up. She had no more. You're gone. You're gone. And the message is going to get through. You murder our people. You rape our people. You do anything like that. You will not be able to stay in this country.
Yeah, there were one or two though that, if you look at it, you might use a degree of common sense, because there's a man on there who 10 years ago, when he was 18, sold some drugs and got an 18-month sentence, who hasn't been in trouble with the law for a further 10 years, and they want to get rid of him.
Did he register as a UK citizen?
He does not remember Jamaica because he was months old when he was brought here.
But I'm saying, did he register as a UK citizen?
Oh, I can't answer that question.
I don't think he did. Here's the tip, folks. If you want to remain in the country, register as a UK citizen and you'll get on a lot better. There you go.
So you mean take all the tests and everything to become a UK citizen? Is that what you mean when you say register?
No, they want you to register as a UK citizen. If you're
get nationalisation.
Get your nationality. If you want to live in Germany and you want to be German, you do what you have to do to become a German. Either that or you're working on a visa where they can get rid of you anytime they want. I'll tell you what, I've got a Malaysian Indian guy working for me. He was telling me in Malaysia many years ago, a young guy committed a murder, right? You're not allowed to be executed until you're 21. And when he was 21, it's happy birthday. And then they hanged him. Did you know about that?
No.
Yeah, so can't hang you just now. You're not 21. But you were getting hanged at 21.
Right, okay, let's leave
politics. Something more happy, shall we?
Yeah. Well, this is such a big story that they've got to include it. A giant dam should be built to enclose the North Sea to protect us from the rising waters. So, the Dutch government scientist has proposed building 2 mammoth dams to completely enclose the North Sea and protect an estimated 25 million Europeans from the consequences of rising sea levels as a result of global heating. I'm not going to say his name, but it's Sjoerd Gruskamp, an oceanographer at the Royal Netherlands Institute. So this could work. I mean, we used to be able to walk across to France, didn't we? Well, not us, but our ancestors could actually walk across to France.
I didn't know that. Well, I can tell you now.
But where are these going to go? One from Scotland to Norway and one from England to France at either end of the North Sea.
I suggest Belgium because they're friendlier than France.
We've actually got something similar already in Aberdeen Beach. If you have a look at it, we had a beautiful beach, about a mile of golden sand, beautiful. And then one day, they turned up with trucks and whatever. And what they done was they took piles of rubble, right? If you're coming up, you'll show you. And they put it into the sea. And it's actually, they've made a barrier out of it to stop the erosion.
Yeah.
And we've got it already. Looks horrible.
But it's basically it's horribleness for the sake of actually not losing your house on the coast.
Well, we had a hotel that happened. Did you see the hotel that happened to this week?
Oh, so yeah, that went viral, didn't it? The hotel that fell into the river.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was bed and no breakfast.
Well, the owner turned up to find his hotel had gone. So he didn't sleep there. His guest did, but he didn't. Right. So I'm in favour of this. Let it be known, building a wall between England and Norway. Then we can actually sort of walk across to Norway. And you don't sound too impressed, John, or look too impressed. Okay.
I think it's going to be an awful long and very wet walk.
I wouldn't risk it and keep.
Oh.
No matter how fast you run, you'd be in hot water.
Right, staying with transport and going from walking to cars. Petrol and diesel cars could be banned in 12 years' time. 2032, no more petrol or diesel cars to be sold. The end of the era.
How are they going to create all these charging points?
They've got 12 years, John. They've got 12 years. I mean, if they stop basically, what they're actually saying, you can't sell a new car in 12 years' time. So,
unless it's electric.
I'll tell you how they can build that infrastructure. Get the Chinese in. They've built a hospital in 10 days.
Go back to hospitals. There's nobody in them. They've built these. There isn't not. No. They managed to build the 2 hospitals, and they're not full by any means. This shows. I mean, it's basically done. It was done for show. It was done to demonstrate that something was actually action was being taken. That's not to say the Chinese aren't doing a bad job of things, but it was a PR exercise more than anything else. So, John, you think petrol cars will go forever? No,
I just think that the infrastructure will not get built in 12 years.
No.
You're going to go into every petrol station and remove a row of things that deliver the juice in, I don't know, say 5 minutes, with a row of things that deliver juice in 4 hours.
And they might say, use the trains meantime. HS2, it's not built yet. Yeah, you're 20 years over plan. Don't catch me. I must put heating on against cold today.
Okay, so the 2 factors here. Can you charge at home?
Yeah.
Okay. And so majority of people could charge it every night and not notice the difference. They wouldn't need to go to a petrol station.
I'll tell you, there'll be breakdowns everywhere.
So who's going to create all this massive electric demand then, when we're shutting down things like nuclear plants? Going to need your own personal windmill as well in the back garden.
Yeah. And when it doesn't get, and if it's not windy and you get a mild summer.
I'm looking forward to
one of the things they want to do is introduce compulsory solar cells on the roof. That's great stuff of every new house. And I think it's a great idea personally.
That'll be great for me because I'll be able to stop the pigeons going underneath him. I'll make a fortune.
But now they're doing solar tiles,
Yeah,
and the pigeons can't get underneath the solar tiles. And you know, even then, the problem is that the batteries to store the generated electricity is so expensive, and of course they don't work at night.
You have to be careful what you wish for. But having said that, do you know the thing? We've just got a new boiler in this week. No, they're telling us they're going to be ripping them out in the future. Have you heard about that?
What are they going to rip out?
Have you not heard it? By such and such a time, I can't remember, you can look at the internet, the government's going to be forcing you to take your boiler out, and they're not going to be using gas anymore. They're going to be using something else. I can't remember.
There's quite a few housing developments being built now with ground earth heat sources instead of gas, and they're not even bringing gas into the estate.
What I'm saying to you is they're telling you they're coming out. That's just what they plan.
Well, I can't see it happening in my lifetime.
Electric scooters became, when they become legal, because they're not legal at the moment, would you get one?
No.
I might, just to try it out.
I think I would get one to go to the shops and things with a little bag in my back. Yeah. And because getting your bike out and taking it out of the shed and everything, with this fold up on a scooter, away you go. I think it would be great. But there's been a lot of injuries with them and deaths. But no, I would certainly go for one for convenience, you know.
Well, one person's already been killed by an electric scooter, hasn't it? That lady who was a radio presenter, I think she was killed.
Hey, talking about these scooter things, I was walking along a pavement in the city a couple of days ago. And this bloody guy, this guy, do you know what, in the mobility scooters, he came fleeing down, and I was going to say something to him, but I didn't know when to get. And he was just going at an excessive speed. I think the police should have radar guns for that sort of thing now. You know? Exactly.
There was a bloke on a motor scooter that looked nothing like a disabled scooter, but had disabled badges on it, going around the supermarket the other day, and he didn't give a toss about anybody. If you didn't get out of the way, tough shit was his attitude.
I know, and I think, I'll tell you a funny story about me. Outside here, it's a garage, so I've got a ramp, okay, into the garage, because there used to be a car going in. And up from me, there's a nursing, a protective, what do you call these, a sheltered housing, and there's a few people in the area that go about in these motor scooters. But so down from the sheltered complex, there's a bit in the road to get off the pavement, but when you cross the road, there's not a bit to go back on the pavement again. It's mine that they were using, but I parked the van in front of it for me, because that's where I park. It's mine. The next thing, the police comes up and they said, somebody's put in a complaint. I says, really? I said, what is it like? He says, they can't get up. I says, that was built by us, which we had to pay money for. Why hasn't the council got another one there to get them up the other side? And I stopped one of them one day. I said, did you grass me up? He says, no, it wasn't me, but I know who it was. I says, who was it? He says, I know who it is. I'm not going to tell you. He says, but the love of it is he's been banned from driving it. I thought it was hilarious. He got banned. He was too aggressive with it. I thought it was hilarious. But I got my local councillor, because I says, come here, why is there a bit there and not up there? He says, oh, I says, that's my bit. That's for me. So they got it in, and every time they came down, I would stop him and I say, hey, I got that for you. Am I not a kind man? I used to wind him up something chronic.
If you block a road driveway entrance or a footpath entrance where I live, and I mean the road I physically live in, you will get a ticket.
Yeah, and I know that's
little Hitler come round. Oh no, I didn't say that word. A extremely awkward gentleman come round several times a day on a moped scooter thing.
Yeah.
And now if you park your car half on the pavement and half on the road, you get a ticket for that. But if you park it half on the grass and half on the road, he ignores it.
Took a picture of it in shame and put it in a fair. I mean, we pavements. We are not.
He's back. No, he's not.
Right. That was absolutely brilliant. Peter will be back in a second, hopefully. But I had muted my microphone. Yeah.
All right.
And I was saying something, and a little message came up at the top of the screen in the Be.Live studio saying, "Are you speaking? Your microphone is not on." Brilliant. All just for me. So when I forget to switch my mic back on, they're telling me they can detect that I'm talking, but it's not actually reaching the broadcast. Brilliant. Okay. Peter was in full flow, but we'll wait for Peter to come back. Yeah. Okay. I've got a segue. All right, Peter's back now. Good. Okay. 3, 2, waiting for Peter's camera. Okay, we're doing reasonably well on the technology front, but I'm blown away by the fact it told me my microphone wasn't working.
So it now detects that you've got input coming in, but you haven't got it switched on.
Indeed, it's getting very clever. And welcome Peter back, and then we'll do a segue. Right, okay. Welcome back, Peter.
Staying back, what? It's playing up again. I hope it didn't get me mid-rant.
No,
right.
Now, this is a word I love, splatometer. We've done 2 mega tests with splatometer. The splatometer test is when your car drives along the country road and gets covered in midges and other flying things. And they've revealed that there's been a huge decline in the number of insects that are getting caught on our windscreens these days. I've got to agree with that. I can't remember the last time I ran into a swarm of insects.
Yeah.
And this car was splattered afterwards.
Yeah.
You reckon 80% have legged it somewhere?
Maybe got raised it. Like, animals can be inbred and say, don't go near that things. Keep away from them. Because they do that with poison, you see. They can build up an immunity to it. Now, if I seen my med and I seen his backside going through his head, I would say, did I do that again? Because you died. My mate died with that. There may be no. Poor insects.
Okay. Well, it's obviously, it's just an observation as to the way things have changed and the way things are changing. Okay.
Have we spoke about Trump today?
Well, yeah, I can bring Bernie Sanders in if you want to speak about Trump.
When's New Hampshire?
Go on then. How do you pronounce that man's name?
It's Dutch, isn't he? Or Dutch origin?
Buttigieg.
That's it.
The I and the IEG are pronounced the same, but don't ask me how you pronounce them.
Okay. So
I listened to someone trying to explain how to pronounce it on Radio 4 the other day.
Right.
No, Bernie was
so
sleeping Joe Biden.
It sounds like butt edge.
Right. Okay. Having got the pronunciation somewhere close, Peter, you were saying.
Was Joe Biden in that race?
Joe Biden, yeah, that's the shock, isn't it? It was from our point of view, because we look at Joe Biden as being a leading American politician.
Not anymore. He's tarnished now. He's tarnished with Ukraine.
Yeah. So he's regularly coming forth.
Yeah. He wants to give up now. Sleepy Joe. He needs to go to sleep. He needs to go to sleep. Sleepy Joe. You're putting them to sleep,
chat.
Joe.
Yeah. Okay. This ex-mayor, Mayor Pete, has come from nowhere as far as we can see, and done well in 2 primaries. Bernie Sanders won, but Sanders versus Trump, fair fight? No fight.
Listen, I've told you, Trump is going to annihilate them at this. Do you know how, I was listening to how many Democrats, because of Nancy Pelosi and ripping it up, are absolutely furious at her. And they've been phoning in radio shows because what they ripped up was that guy was 100 years, the Tuskegee pilot, the people that had lost their lives and their kids. That's what was ripped up, and they've ripped them apart for it, pardon the pun. And Democrats are phoning up and saying, voted them all my life, and I'm going to be changing because that was no way to treat the president, and it was no way to ripping that up because what was written in it, and basically they have lost a lot of credibility with what they've been doing lately. Be careful what you wish for. And I can actually see the biggest landslide in America you will ever see. I don't know what it is in the past, but that's what I'm predicting.
People asked me to say the opposite of whatever you say is true. Okay?
I'm going to tell the truth, somewhere in between the two. Tish, what are your thoughts?
Yeah.
On the election later this year? Okay. Now, wars are always to be regretted, and even Winston Churchill regretted the fact that 75 years ago today, the RAF bombed Dresden.
Yeah.
And decimated Dresden, and I've got a link, and this link to the story about Dresden. So I put it in. I've got the link in. Gives time to think for a moment. This was done ostensibly because of the factories around Dresden, which were building munitions to continue the war. But it was just the city was decimated, tens of thousands of people died, and it just shows the futility of war, really, Peter.
Yeah, well, I was listening to a prisoner of war. It was actually, our prisoner of war, who survived, and his friend was killed, and he was in Dresden, and he absolutely hates Winston Churchill for it and the RAF. But you see, here's the thing, right? And it's a horrible thing. When they dropped what was first, Hiroshima or Nagasaki?
Both, I think, yeah. Hiroshima, okay.
Hiroshima. So they said, boom, there you go. Do you want more of this? I suggest you surrender. But Hitler told his people, fight to the last munition, fight until the end. Boom. And that's what happened. Because Coventry got it, we got it. We got the Blitz, we got rockets flying over, and don't cry if you don't want it back. Fight fire with fire. Pardon the pun. But no, it's a horrible thing. They would never ever get away with that nowadays. It's more pinpoint, but in those times of war, that's what happened. Horrible thing, you know. Horrible thing. In fact, I think the morning TV got a bit of a shock with what the guy was saying this morning. It was a bit too much for early morning if you didn't see it, you know.
I didn't see it, no.
No, what he spoke about wasn't good for, it wouldn't have, you could see them trying to stop the conversation about people thinking things of water. But it was boiling. It was above boiling point.
Yeah.
How long after that did they surrender? You know?
This is 75 years. This would have been, this was the final year of the war.
Final year of the war. And did they give up after that? I think there was more happened.
Not till May.
Yeah.
So Hitler should have said, look, I think the game's up. I really think the game's up. Let's get an
He's
end
never
to this
going
now.
to do that, though, was he?
No. And some brave people try to get rid of him, but his citizens suffered for his ideas.
That's it. Yeah. It's the population suffer for the ideas of our politicians.
Yeah.
Has always been so. I went to Dresden last year, and the city has been rebuilt. There are the large parts of it which were just left.
Yeah.
Because Dresden was in East Germany, and they didn't rebuild until much later. The Frauenkirche has been rebuilt stone by stone, and is a beautiful church, and we were fortunate to actually go in there and listen to a Sunday morning service. And the whole town, the centre, has been totally rebuilt, raised and rebuilt, and the people are very friendly. I mean, we sat down for a meal. It was a sunny day. I remember sunny days, and we sat down for a meal outside, and all around were German families, and it was just, the atmosphere was just absolutely brilliant, because it's now become a cosmopolitan city where people visit and celebrate common culture.
But you could just be describing Coventry, couldn't you?
Yeah.
I could. In fact, there's the Coventry Cathedral is twinned with the cathedral in Berlin, and they've exchanged the
Blaue Kirche.
Yeah, that's it. And they have exchanged tokens between each other. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, the Coventry Cathedral original is still there, or a bit of it that's left is still there.
Tom went to Coventry University, and he got his degree inside the cathedral. They used the cathedral for their degree ceremonies.
Right. Well, forget about Big Ben. Right, some good news. The rain that's expected in New South Wales in Australia is going to put out the remaining fires. So it would draw a close on the fire season, which has seen deaths, destruction, and also in relation to that, if I can find it, oh no, that's not it either. There are, however, 100 different species, but no species has been decimated to such an extent it can't actually make a comeback in future. So all the species are safe, which is a miracle after all the fires that they've had. Right, okay. Other things in Solihull, John?
Well, not in Solihull, but my daughter's blood pressure is such that she's been taken into hospital because she's 33 weeks pregnant, and they're rather concerned about her. There was positive news, she's come out now, but she has to go back to hospital every day for a check on her and the baby. And she's going to have to do that every day now, which means she's going to work every day, but not working.
That's good.
They were particularly concerned on Saturday.
Frozen?
In for 4 days. And they wanted her to last to at least today, because 34 weeks is the first viable date, and she's 34 weeks today. But hopefully it will be a bit longer, because they need the baby's lungs to develop, which happened in the last couple of weeks. So that's family, if you like, update. But hopefully in the next 7 weeks, 7 weeks? Like 34 weeks, and they'll probably deliver at latest at 37. So sometime in the next 3 weeks, I shall hopefully be a granddad for the first time. As to anything else in Solihull, apart from the weather being awful, and the wind strong enough to strip the felt off roofs of sheds around here, nothing much to report, really.
It's all quiet in Wiltshire as well. grey days, windy days, as John alluded to there over the weekend. The fence nearly came down. In fact, many fences fell over the weekend, and we've decided that our fence has got to be taken down, ready for the next storm, which is this weekend. We had the C last weekend. We've got the D storm coming up this weekend. Apparently high winds again. Tish, if you could stop sending these storms across the Atlantic, we'd be eternally grateful. Because we seem to get them a week later than they've happened in the States. Okay. In other news, food giant Unilever.
I've seen that.
Yeah, he's going to stop advertising ice cream to children.
That's a big step, you know.
Well, yeah, it's their profits, isn't it? That's
full of sugar.
Yeah.
Full of sugar.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same as smoking.
Follow Lidl as well and remove cartoon characters from breakfast.
Yeah.
The world's changing. They're suddenly realising the things that you like in life aren't good for you, and the world is kind of, it's imploding in itself, you know. And what was good is no bad, and what was bad is no good, like health and running about and things like that, all that sort of stuff. But I can tell you about Aberdeen just now. I'm very depressed. I'm depressed. I don't want to look at the paper anymore. I want to buy the paper. And there's been a few sad things. You know how you ever worked with someone and they were a great laugh and you had a great time with them? Mm-hmm. And they're now 84. This was a bus driver. And the next thing, he's in the paper for abusing kids from 1969. And it just sickened me because I liked the guy's company. He was a bit like me, with a bit of good laugh in the buses. And it was absolutely sickening. And then one of our big hotels, which used to be in the Stackers group, there was a thing come up on Facebook, and it said, and it's telling everybody in the hotel, we've no food for you. If you want to go to another hotel, no problem. 85 people, and I think it's a DoubleTree Hilton, which is like a franchise. They're going out the door. A cafe opened up. Do you know how long it lasted? 3 days. And they went into liquidation. And that's what I'm seeing in Aberdeen at the moment. It's all doom and gloom.
To go into liquidation in 3 days, surely that meant the signs were there that you should never even have opened.
Well, it's a guy that does it quite often, to be honest with you. You know, when I found out who it was, he said more businesses go down than anything else. So he must be up to someone, I would think. But that's the sad news.
But he'd get a medal if he was in California for keeping to try. Over here, it's a bad thing if you go bust.
I know, but yes, we can get some good news because things are pretty depressed up here for some people, you know.
Have you heard of Giovanni Palmerio?
Not until now.
No.
Giovanni Palmerio is 101 years of age.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
And the Home Office said that when his application was made for him to stay in the country, because he's been here since 1960 something.
Yeah.
Said both parents had to verify his age.
Was there a problem with that, John?
I think so, because I think they've been dead for quite a while. It reminded me of the old signs, you know, credit will be offered to people aged over 85 when both parents are present. Yeah. But it turns out that what it is, that the computer program, the app, only looks at the last 2 digits of the year of birth.
And he was 1 year old.
He was born in 1919. So it assumed he was 1, not 101.
I think
so the app then
there's another one come up.
Phase.
Another one come up, I think it was Facebook or Twitter, saying, due to a violation, you're getting banned. And somebody wrote, they won't worry about it. They've been dead for 2 years. They banned somebody who was dead for some reason.
That is definitely bad coding, John. All years should be to 4 digits everywhere.
Well, we should put that in the subject for next week. Because the government's going to wait to look at what we write now. Did you see that?
No, go.
Sorry?
The government is now going to have a set of standards instead of the social media platforms now shutting you down. They're going to be able to shut you down with what you write. But I'll look into that for next week.
Okay. Your assignment, Peter, is to
find out about it.
Right. Pete, I just discovered something whilst you weren't with us, and I'm going to say it for another time. If I switch my mic off,
yes, I have
it tells me I've done it. This is absolutely awesome. Lots of wonderful little things that we've been waiting for are happening on the Be.Live studio. Right, okay. There we have it. John, it's over to you.
Okay. It's goodbye time. In fact, we've run over by a minute. So it's goodbye from Scotland. Is definitely up there somewhere.
Sunny Scotland, look.
The man on the bus. It's goodbye from the southwest. Oh, that was a weird effect when you did that, Stephen. You got like a halo there.
I can keep it. There's a crack.
It's a black
you know what that is, don't you?
Oh, that's a bit behind you.
Man in Wiltshire. The special correspondence on ancient monuments. Goodbye from me and Solihull, who today feels like an ancient monument. Yeah. Goodbye.
Bye.